Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we have even more announcements coming from Treyarch in regards to the upcoming Black Ops Cold War beta. The beta itself will begin tomorrow for PlayStation fans who decided to pre-order the game digitally, not physically, which is pretty annoying, but digital pre-orders, you get access to the beta tomorrow for PlayStation 4, and in that beta, we're going to see even more guns, more score streaks, more attachments, more game modes, and more maps on top of the stuff that is carrying over from the alpha. One of these new maps is going to be called Cartel, which will be available in both 6v6 as well as 12v12 game modes, and we're also going to have another map, though I don't believe at the time of this video being recorded that we have a name for it, but you can see it right here. This is going to be another one of those new maps that are going to be coming with the beta. On these new maps, and this right here, guys, is the bit of news I'm most excited for, we're going to be able to play a new mode called Combined Arms Assault, and the reason why I'm so excited for this is this game mode is basically going to be a 12v12 version of the old game mode War from Call of Duty World at War, and I am super stoked about that. In the official blog post, Treyarch describes this game mode as, the match gets rolling with two teams of 12 spreading across the map to fight for control of a central neutral capture zone. Once that objective is captured, the next one opens up deeper into enemy territory. The first team to successfully infiltrate and capture the enemy's final zone comes out on top. Guys, I cannot tell you how excited I am about this. War was one of my favorite game modes in Call of Duty history, but for some reason, it was last featured all the way back in Call of Duty World at War, and I suppose the version of the mode that we saw halfway through the Advanced Warfare lifecycle, but the mode didn't really work as well in Advanced Warfare with exosuits and everything. So the last time we saw a proper war mode, and I'm not talking about World War II, I'm talking about the old war mode, was back in Call of Duty World at War, and I'm stoked about this, guys. It is such a fun team-based game mode, and I think it's going to be really fun to play it in a Cold War environment, especially on 12v12. That sounds really interesting, though I have to wonder just how much vehicles are going to play a factor in this. I mean, I could talk all day about how excited I am that War is finally returning, and it's also worth mentioning that Combined Arms is going to have multiple different modes available, right? We saw Combined Arms Domination back during the alpha, and that was what you guys see right here, basically Domination. Well, during the beta, we're going to have Domination for Combined Arms, but we're also going to have Assault, which is going to be like War, so they're going to be having a bunch of these big team modes within Black Ops Cold War, which is obviously pretty interesting, but again, I'm just super stoked that War is going to be returning. I could talk about this all day and night, but in the interest of time, let's go ahead and move on with the rest of the news. In the beta, we're going to be able to play the new VIP Escort game mode, which of course we saw during the reveal event, and we're also going to be able to get our hands on the new game mode Fireteam. Now, Fireteam itself is a mode that I think is either going to be really good or really bad, depending on how it plays out, right? According to the blog post, this game mode is going to consist of 10 teams of 4, kind of similar to multi-team back in Black Ops 2, but it's going to be on a much larger scale. Each team of 4 is going to be competing against everybody else in the lobby, and the goal in this game mode is to take out enemies, collect uranium caches, and then deposit that uranium into dirty bombs. Each time one of the 10 teams fills up and detonates one of their dirty bombs, they will score points that will presumably go up to a score limit, and that is presumably going to be the win condition for the game mode. First team to reach a score limit likely wins, and they likely get that via blowing up dirty bombs and getting kills. But once the dirty bomb itself goes off, it's going to create this big radioactive hazard on the map. So presumably we're going to see lots of different areas of these Fireteam maps becoming inaccessible because they're basically going to be filled with radiation, and anyone who's played any of the Fallout games knows if you walk into radiation, you slowly die. Actually, Call of Duty fans know this as well. Remember Wasteland back in Modern Warfare 2? Instead of having like normal traditional boundaries for the map, they just had these radioactive areas on the outside of the map, so you could technically run outside of Wasteland, but after a bit you would die to radiation, and it sounds like that's going to be something that's going to be happening in Fireteam as well, at least in the Dirty Bomb version of the Fireteam game mode. That pretty much is the short summary of Fireteam Dirty Bomb, but to expand upon this a little bit, respawning in Fireteam in general is going to be a lot like Battlefield Battlefield. You can choose to respawn on one of your teammates so long as they are not in combat, or choose to parachute back into the map Warzone style. And also, we're talking about uranium and how you have to find it, and then you have to carry it to one of your dirty bombs and fill up the dirty bombs with your uranium. Well, while you're carrying that uranium, the longer that you hold on to it, the more that your character is going to slow down. You're going to start getting radiation sickness, so you're going to start slowing down, you're going to have slower health regeneration, your perk benefits will apparently start to diminish, and eventually, if you hold on to your uranium a little bit too long, you're gonna die. It'll just straight up fall over and die. So, as we can see here in the trailer, vehicles are also going to play a pretty big role in this game mode as well, and overall, I must say, Fireteam Dirty Bomb seems pretty wild. It's definitely not going to be a traditional Call of Duty game mode by any stretch of the imagination, but it definitely seems like it could be fun, and I'm going to give it a good solid try while playing the beta this weekend. Like I mentioned earlier, though, Fireteam Dirty Bomb is not going to be the only Fireteam game mode. Just like with the Combined Arms playlist, which is going to feature both Assault and Domination, when the full game of Black Ops Cold War comes out in November, Fireteam is going to have multiple game modes, not just Fireteam Dirty Bomb. So we're going to have to wait and see how things are going to play out with that. Although I would like to say that I'm worried that they're stretching themselves too thin when it comes to adding all these big team game modes into Black Ops Cold War. I think it's really important for the developers to remember that traditional 6v6 multiplayer on small to medium-sized maps is what most people buy Call of Duty for, right? We want small to medium-sized maps, occasionally a large map thrown in here or there to break up the monotony, and we want to play game modes like Team Deathmatch, Kill Confirmed, Domination, and Search and Destroy, right? Those modes are the pillars, the backbone of the Call of Duty multiplayer experience, and I'm worried that a lot of the maps in Black Ops Cold War are going to be too big because they're going to try to accommodate 6v6 and 12v12 on those maps, like we saw back during the alpha, and because of that, I'm worried that the game is going to have maps that people aren't going to enjoy. A big point of feedback from me and a bunch of you, of course, during the alpha was a lot of the maps, even the 6v6 ones, were pretty freaking giant, and I have to wonder if that's because they also plan to accommodate some of those maps, like Miami, into 12v12 game modes. I suppose time will tell. We have no idea as to what they have planned right now, but I would like to point out that it is kind of concerning that they're focusing so much on big team play with Black Ops Cold War as compared to the traditional 6v6 multiplayer experience that we've all come to know and love in the Call of Duty franchise. Now, moving along here, we have some pretty big announcements in the form of customization and user interface. For the first time in Call of Duty history, field of view sliders will be available for all platforms, not just PC. That is pretty damn huge in my opinion, though Treyarch has warned us that changing your field of view may impact the stability of your console and it may impact your frame rate, though it probably won't be too bad. Battlefield has been doing this for a while now, and while it does impact gameplay now and then, by and large, changing your field of view on console and Battlefield is not the worst thing ever. It just adds for a better experience, and it looks like we're going to be having that in Black Ops Cold War as well, which is definitely pretty awesome. Another addition is going to be a somewhat custom user interface in the form of options that can be toggled on or off. In Black Ops Cold War's multiplayer, even in standard game modes, you can toggle things like your crosshairs, the compass, you can toggle on and off friendly and enemy health bars, and you can also change how hit markers are going to look or whether or not you get hit markers at all while you play, and I think that is definitely a good thing. Allowing players to customize their interface while playing Call of Duty is something I've wanted for a very long time now, and it's finally going to be a thing with Black Ops Cold War, and we're going to be seeing the first version of that during the Cold War beta. Another addition that they're making is, for the first time ever, we're going to have a ping system while playing the traditional Call of Duty multiplayer. This ping system, in the way they described it, is basically going to work the way it does in Warzone and a little bit like it did back in Blackout. On console, the default command for this is going to be left on the D-pad, and on PC, the keybind by default is going to be Z, and what you can do with this ping system is you can ping enemy score streaks to call them out to your team, you can ping objective flags to say, hey idiots, let's go get B, or you can also ping items on the map like the bomb, maybe in Search and Destroy and Demolition, or maybe dirty bombs or uranium things that we see in Fireteam. You're going to be able to ping things for your team, and I think that's definitely a good thing. I've wanted this for a very long time in the Call of Duty franchise, ever since I was playing Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, where you could call out objectives for your teammates and then get bonus points for them following your orders and taking those those objectives. Ever since then, I've wanted this in COD. I've wanted this for a very long time. I mean, I'm going to be playing Black Ops Cold War, and while my teammates are busy walking in the walls or sitting in corners, I'm going to be over there pinging the B flag as a way to remind my teammates in a very gentle way that we're playing domination, not hide and seek, and hopefully this will result over time in an overall increase in teamwork while playing casual game modes in Black Ops Cold War. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much does it for all the new announcements that have been made so far here today. I'm very excited about all of this news, although I must say I'm a bit disappointed that we didn't get official patch notes, because like most of you, I'm wondering exactly what was changed going from the alpha into the beta from a gameplay perspective. I want to know exactly how were these sniper rifles nerfed. Did they change up that barrel that allows you to destroy vehicles ridiculously quickly? Were score streaks buffed in terms of health? Did they alter the cooldown timers on any of the score streaks? There's so many questions that I have. Did they nerf the 74U? They better have, and if so, how did they nerf it? These are all questions that we have from a balance perspective going from the alpha into the beta, but unfortunately we didn't get any information in the way of balance changes today. I'm hoping that maybe later on tonight or maybe tomorrow before the beta goes live on PlayStation 4 that they give us another blog post, and if they do, you guys can expect another video from me. But until then, I hope you guys all enjoyed this update. If you did, consider leaving the video a like. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.